Happy Tuesday.
You caught me by surprise.
Sorry. My name is Alan.
My name's Nick.
And welcome
Into the dungeon.
Wilbur, this is gonna sound strange, but we can't go out the front door.
Well, there's some city watch there. I'm sure they'll help us.
I'm not so sure.
What do you mean?
I fear they may just want to go back to the tavern and this will be pinned on us. We haven't got time. But when we were struck by that beast, I had a vision.
Really?
Yes, my late sister spoke to me. She said there's trouble brewing in Baldur's Gate.
Oh, that's very far away from here.
Yes, it is, Wilbur. I can't ask you to come with me, but I can ask you to protect yourself.
What do you mean?
If they see you and I there, coming out of this building, I'm an outsider that Open took in. They'll blame this on my wild magic. Or on you as a fool.
No.
Let's at least get out. And then you can make your decision. You're free to accompany me as far as you want, but I must make haste towards Baldur's Gate.
Oh, Arfharim, you're my only family now. I'll go with you wherever you go.
Then do as I say.
Yes.
We cannot risk this.
Yes, Grandpa.
I'm going to choose to ignore that, Wilbur, given the circumstances of our predicament.
Oh.
Come, to the side exit.
Yes.
We must be quiet, Wilbur.
Oh, yes. Don't worry.
I have little faith in the city guard, especially with everything that's going on.
Roll for stealth for both you and Wilbur.
Ooh, are we doing this blind?
Oh, yes, we are. Thanks for reminding me.
Okay, so yellowy is Arfharim, bluey is Wilbur. Alright, here we go. This was more fun when I was on the other side of the blind roll, just gonna say.
Yes, I can imagine. Okay, so who was yellow?
Arfharim.
Okay.
And Arfharim's modifier for stealth is +4.
Okay.
And Willy, Big Willy,
Yeah.
his modifier is +0.
All right. So, you lead the way and Wilbur follows. You've told him to be stealthy, to be quiet, so he attempts to. The fact
Oh no.
The fact that there is a blaze going around you, also the sound from the crashing water outside hitting the sides of the walls and dousing the fires and the flames, help you stay quiet, help you go undetected. You make your way to the door. There is no door, there is no handle, it's just the remnants of what was once a door you can go through. And as you do so, you hear a crash and a tumble. And then,
Arfharim!
Whatever you're doing, Wilbur, I told you, keep quiet.
Oh, my foot got stuck on a parcel of sorts.
and he picks up like a parcel that is in tatters from the fire and the destruction of this shopfront. But you can see there's things hanging out of it, parchments, what appears to be an empty flask in it as well. And he's just showing it to you.
Is it small enough to fit in the pouch or vouch?
Perhaps not the whole package, but if you take the stuff out, you can fit them individually. It's probably a package that was meant to be delivered to someone, because Obing sold goods, sold magical artifacts, and he would make deliveries, or he would get someone to make deliveries for him. But obviously it's been destroyed or partially destroyed, and it's been left behind.
We haven't got time right now, Wilbur. Stick as much of it as you can inside the pouch or vouch.
Okay.
And you see him take out 4 scrolls and again a seemingly empty bottle.
We'll have a closer look when we're somewhere safe, Wilbur.
Alright, they're all in the pouch now.
Great.
I'm sorry for tripping.
You need to be more careful, Wilbur.
I will.
One more thing. We're going to be heading very quietly and very carefully to the Tower of the Order.
The Tower of the Order?
Yes, I must seek out one of Obin's close friends, Old Cordia Stonemarrow.
Oh, yes.
One more thing. You must keep a secret. What you have seen today. The powers that I have. It would be dangerous if others find out that I can wield this power, and I'm not registered.
I didn't know you could do magic out of your hands, Arfharim.
Yes, I'll explain when we have time.
Okay. Silent and shut up. Silent and shut up. Okay.
Okay, so we want to start making our way, hopefully undetected, from the magic users that are tackling the fire. And we want to head over to the Tower of the Order.
So yeah, once you exit the side door, do you want to go up and behind an alley and maybe find another exit onto the high road out of sight of the magic casters and the city watch? Or do you want to just pass straight into the high road and start going down?
No, we're going to have to go through one of those back alleys. You know, I'm one of the residents here. If I'm seen in the area, I'm surely going to be questioned about what's going on. And right now, I don't feel I've got time to be questioned.
Very good. And you're heading, you said, towards
the Tower of the Order, yeah.
You know that Obin, as I think I mentioned last episode, that Obin is, or was...
Oh, what do you mean was?
Is or was. We don't know what's happened to him.
Last episode you said he had disappeared without a trace. Spoiler alert.
Well, there's a blazing fire, so I mean, it might be hard to find a trace after that. But
oh dear.
We don't know. Yeah, he used to belong to the Guild of the Watchful Order of Magists and Protectors. And you know that the tower you're going to is a base of operations. And as you mentioned, Ulkuria Stone Marrow, she's someone that you know Obin was close to or confided in. You would see them together every so often, and you've visited the tower before. You know it's close by. It's just 6 minutes, maybe a bit more, because you're going to go round and try and avoid any detection. But yeah, you know exactly where you're going.
I mean, I just want to go through a back alley far enough that when I emerge onto the high road, I'm not in the immediate vicinity where somebody would see and recognize me.
Yeah, so you kind of go behind the house, find some alleys there, go south a bit, and then exit once you're comfortable enough that you've got enough distance between you and Obin's house. So you carry on. The streets of Waterdeep are a bit more lively now as it's getting on in the day. You see Griffin cavalry fly above you, heading towards the docks direction. And you continue. It's a pleasant day. The summer sun is now hitting you on the face, giving you a warm, fuzzy feeling, if you could have one, considering the trauma you've been through in the last couple of minutes. But after a while, you reach the castle ward, and on the Street of Bells, near the block between Selduff Street and Buckle Alley, you can see the Tower of Order rising ahead. It's a 4-story structure, solid and imposing, and a fence of green sparkling light surrounds it, shifting and forming the symbols of Mystria and Azuth, the gods of magic. Above the entrance, a mosaic of hand rests on the stone, said to strike intruders with powerful spells if they approach with ill intent. The tower has no windows, only smooth walls that seem to watch in silence, a quiet but unmistakable symbol of magic's authority in Waterdeep. So you reach the tower?
Yeah, I knock and try and see if the door's open.
Yeah, you knock and you open the door. You step into the tower and you enter a vast circular hall of polished stone. The air here is thick with a faint scent of parchment, ink and lingering magic. The walls are lined with glowing sigils, pulsing softly like a slow heartbeat, the light casting shifting patterns across the floor. Standing in the center of the hall, a familiar person waits. Her stocky dwarven frame is wrapped in a deep blue robe embroidered with silver runes. Her sharp eyes, filled with the weight of centuries, study you with quiet intensity. Despite her age, there's a strength in her stance. Her weathered face is set in a stern expression, framed by untamed grey hair. A deep-cut staff of blackened wood, humming faintly with arcane energy, rests in her grip, its surface etched with ancient sigils that flicker as if alive. As you stand before Ulkuria Stone Marrow, known by many as a gargoyle, you get the distinct impression that she's already read your intentions before you've spoken a word.
Arfharim, I have heard the news. What of Obin?
We must speak somewhere in private. Ulkuria.
Yes. Follow me to my office.
She leads you down a corridor, past some doors, and at the end, she opens one of them.
Step right through.
It's been the most peculiar day, Ulkuria. It's been a dark day.
Have a seat. I see you're troubled.
She closes the door behind you, locks it, and sits down across from you.
You were saying?
Oh God, it's a dark day. I don't know what to do. Oben, he's gone. Great evil. We were attacked.
A great evil, you say?
Yes.
What great evil?
Well, I guess I should start at the beginning. My master, he sent me to Susanna's library. I was tasked to retrieve a book as I often am. But this one was called A Study on Demons, Devils, and Contracts with Mortals. The most peculiar thing happened. When we arrived, the library was being haunted by a ghost.
Really? Susanna's library?
Yes, but fortunately I've been able to tackle that situation. But what troubles me is that Oben sent me for this book. On my return, our home, the loss of my family, have disappeared.
Very troubling.
There was chaos. The door looked like it had been broken in. There was fire everywhere.
Yes, I heard about the fire. I sent my mages to put it out.
And Oben, he was facing off against this vile beast.
What kind of beast?
I'm not well versed in beasts and monsters, but this abomination, it was very bony. Looked a bit like an insect. It was huge, I tell you.
Huge.
Huge. Yes, he had wings and a tail like a scorpion.
This is worrying.
It was. I tried to go to Oben's help, but alas, it struck me down.
And how did you survive? And this young fellow over here, was he with you?
Yes, he was. I have no idea. The most peculiar thing happened.
Really?
Yes, I awoke in some strange plane. I couldn't sense it as the material world, but I was on board the Brimstone.
Brimstone?
Yes. And Wilbur was there with me too.
Wilbur.
The wound.
I start opening my tunic and showing her my scar.
The wound from where the beast struck me down had healed. And then my sister, Tammy, she spoke to me. She spoke of great evil brewing at Baldur's Gate. She said I must go there. And then when I awoke, the beast, Oben, my new friend, my bird that Oben gifted me for my birthday, they've all disappeared.
The staff, you mean?
Yes, the one that came with the staff. I'd called her Tammy, you know.
Can I see it?
Of course, it's a little worse for wear. The birdhouse was cracked.
She holds the staff in both hands and passes a hand over it.
I had to flee the scene, you know.
1 second, Arfharim.
Oh, of course.
I'm trying to concentrate on your staff, on your birdhouse.
I wipe my welling eyes.
Yes. I can sense magic in it still. The staff, the birdhouse, even the bird, they were magical.
They were magical.
Yes.
Oben never really told me what they were. They just said that they would help me in a time of need, and
And I think it has.
I thought it had done nothing.
I believe the thing that sent you to that plane to save you was your staff. It seems to have used too much magic, more than it was capable of, and it has cracked. But don't worry, with time, it should self-repair.
Do you know how to wield the magic it has?
No, it's not for me to use, but with time the bird will come back.
That's reassuring. It reminded me much of my sister. But as I was saying...
Here, have it back, sorry.
Oh, okay, thank you. As I was saying, I had to flee the scene.
Did anybody see you? The guards, the mages outside?
Not that I'm aware, but you know what the penalty is for us, and I'm an outsider.
Yes.
Wilbur here is known to be a little clumsy. I couldn't take the risk, particularly with that grave message that I must go to Baldur's Gate.
What for?
I do not know. I was simply told that there was trouble brewing and that there would be answers there.
Do you know anyone there? Anyone you can confide in?
Yes, Glagatha.
Glagatha? Who is Glagatha?
She's the kind woman that took us in. By us, I mean my sister and I when we were orphaned. She looked after us for many years. My sister said she's in grave danger.
And you believe this to be true?
I have no reason to doubt it. Despite many years, a century now of praying to be reunited with my sister at some point. Sadly thinking that it would be the next realm for her to come to me.
This is troubling. I know that you are Oben's scribe.
And she winks at you, kind of knowingly.
And I know he has been protecting you.
Do I sense that she knows that I wield magic, or?
You wanna roll insight?
Yeah. Before I spill more information than perhaps I should.
Okay, go for it.
Not a bad start to the session. That's a total of 16.
Nice. Yeah, she's kind of given it away herself with a wink, like it was a bit of an exaggerated wink, like saying, yeah, you're the scribe, right? She knows more to your story.
There's no need to keep secrets here. Unfortunately, I was trying to combat the fire. So my friend Wilbur here is privy to my secret now.
It's okay. By the sounds of it, he won't be in Waterdeep for much longer.
No, I needed your help to get out of the city, though.
Yes. I know of Obing's troubles.
Oh, I was just about to ask you. You are most perceptive.
The years do that to you, son. He was researching demons and contracts with humanoids. He suspected something was amiss in the holy city of Elturel and its surroundings.
Oh yes, Elturel. That's where Glagatha first adopted Tammy and I. We resided at the orphanage there.
Yes, well, then you must know of the history of Elturel, the companion.
The years have not been kind to me. The companion.
Yes, I'm sure you've heard of it. It's the radiant sphere over the sky of Elturel, the one that Fabius Krieg summoned to defeat the Vampire Lord. This was maybe 50 years ago.
Well, I haven't been back in almost a century.
Well, in any case, Obing was suspicious of it all, and he was researching demons, as I said, devils, contracts, and all that kind of stuff. I don't know.
He's got himself into trouble.
Well, it would appear he has, yes. My worry is that whatever went to shut him up is now looking for you, Arfharim.
Why me? I have no
Well-
knowledge of devils or demons.
You saw what happened to Obing,
What on earth would they want with a lowly scribe?
what they wanted with Obing. Perhaps to shut him up, I do not know. I would suggest that when you make your way to Baldur's Gate, you make so carefully. Don't leave any trace behind. A journey on foot or horseback would probably be ideal.
Well, there's no way I'm getting on a damn boat. I'll
Well-
tell you that much.
It will be quicker though, and it's up to you. But shipping in Waterdeep is very much restricted nowadays with the violence spilling in the streets. There may be some traders that wouldn't mind dropping you off, but I imagine they will ask for a hefty fee, as they will be going against the orders or the lords of Waterdeep themselves. I can help you leave the city.
You're too kind. Would it be too much to ask? For a steed? For Maggie? Well, I don't know if he's coming with me yet, but that'll be a decision for him to take. Perhaps he's taken my instruction to keep quiet as we left the scene a little too literally.
I'm just looking at the pretty lights. All around us, Arfharim, look. They're like words floating above us.
Yes, well, those are sigils and protective glyphs. Make no notice of them. As I was saying, I do not have a steed that I could give you. You have two options the way I see it, and two ways I can help you. You are not a guild member, but guild members do have perks in this town. One of them is discounts in shops, particularly a stable down south, near the southern gate.
I'm afraid I don't have much coin.
Security is quite tight nowadays, also in the Lund gates. But you could use a guild pass to kind of skip the queue, if you know what I mean. But it very much depends on the guard on duty, and if he'll ask more questions or less questions. It is a risk still to take, but you will be able to leave with a steed. Also, another suggestion, perhaps the safest one, where you will go undetected, is if we go north from here to the field ward. I can use a spell and open a door, a passage through the wall itself. The walls there are narrower, as they were built in a rush. Once there, you can make your way down south and join the tradeway towards Baldur's Gate. But you will have no steed, unless you find one outside in a farm or elsewhere.
Would you happen to have a map of the roads to Baldur's Gate?
I'm sure we can find something, yes. Also, if you're worried about your friend or your mother,
My mother?
your Glagatha,
Oh, yes, Glagatha.
we do sell scrolls that may help you. Contact her. I'll give you one for free.
And she passes you a scroll.
That's most kind.
So, don't expect you to make a decision right now. I'll inform the guild master of what happened to Obing. I'll inform them that you are innocent. We have quite a bit of sway in the way Waterdeep works, so don't worry about the city watch for now.
What am I to do, though? I have no home to return to. Would I be able to stay here for the night?
If you want to take the night off, yes, you're more than welcome. But I would suggest that you leave as soon as you can.
What time is it at present?
I mean, you left to the library early. The library wasn't very far away, and you didn't spend an awful lot of time there, so it's probably late morning, like early noon, perhaps.
So probably not best to spend the night then. Just checking what inventory I have. Okay, I've got a bedroll. I don't have a tent though, which is probably going to be crucial.
I have a couple more favors to ask of you. I know that you have helped me much already, but it is a long road. Alas, I do not have a tent which, if I am to stay off the road and not leave a trace as you say, would the guild be so kind to provide me with shelter for my travels?
Yes, there shouldn't be a problem. We can acquire a tent and some sleeping bags for your travel.
Fortunately, I have a sleeping bag, but a couple may be handy, given the size of my companion. And one last thing, old Cordia.
Yes.
Wilbur, please retrieve the package that was left outside of Oben's home.
Okay, but I threw the package. I have the items only, like you said.
The items. Please show them to Cordia.
Yes, hold on, let me think.
And you see him stick his tongue out and think very, very hard before he pulls the empty flask out.
I got a flask,
I grab it from him carefully.
And he starts pulling scrolls out.
and I have 4 scrolls.
We stumbled across these as we fled the scene. Seemingly a package for Oben. I haven't had a chance yet to look at them, but you know far more of magic and ingredients and equipment.
Yes, well, pass it over. Yes. I mean, you just need to unscroll it. It says it here.
Oh,
This is Scroll of Prayer of Healing. This one,
And she unfurls it.
Scroll of Revivify. These are all spells. And these 2 are here, Scrolls of Jump. And this empty flask isn't empty at all.
oh,
No, it's a potion of invisibility.
oh.
And she tosses it to you.
They could aid you.
As a note, these are the items that were donated to us in our last campaign, and we didn't get to use them as Shrew and his shrubberies, so they have transitioned to this campaign now.
I'm in 2 minds here whether to disclose my new friend, Timmy. She doesn't seem overly interested about the ghost, so perhaps not.
How quickly do you think we can move towards the field ward?
We can leave now. We'll be there half an hour, 45 minutes tops.
Probably wise to get out of the city.
Yes. Maybe wear some robes. Cover your faces.
Wilbur, you may have to shave your beard.
Oh, Frame. Then you see my big cheeks. I can hide it under the hood.
For now, we're being hunted like some quarry. We may need to disguise ourselves.
Avoid any travel that would have you give your name out or sign anything. No one knows of you, probably outside of Waterdeep anyway. You should be fine, but you can never be too cautious. Until we don't know more about what's going on, it's best to stay safe.
I guess there's nothing left to do then, other than to start making our way.
Alright, so Cordia gets up and signals you to follow her. She opens the door, exits, makes a short way down the hall towards the exit of the tower. Do you want to do anything on your way up towards the field wards?
No.
So she did provide with some robes, an extra large one for Wilbur, so that you can be a bit more conspicuous. And after 30-40 minutes, you reach the field wards. You haven't been to this part much. You tend to avoid it. It's pretty much the armpit of Waterdeep. People live in squalor here. The most poor citizens make their, if you can call them homes, they have them here. You also find the tanneries and the butchers, all the smelly guilds, to put it some way. So it's not a very pleasant ward. You follow Korea through the ward and eventually to the wall at the very north of Waterdeep. She finds an area where she can see that the wall is built poorly, perhaps thinner than the other sides, or perhaps not as wide as in other parts. She places a hand on the wall, and suddenly a door, a magical, almost translucent door appears on the wall.
You may step through. You will exit on the other side of Waterdeep. I wish you and your friend here well. If we find any information, we will contact you. If we learn anything new about Obin or his whereabouts, we will let you know.
Thank you, Ulcoria. You have been most kind to me. Wilbur, I cannot make you come with me. The decision must be yours. I have a long road ahead of me towards Baldur's Gate. A perilous one. One without guarantee that we will arrive, safe or in one piece. I completely understand if you wish to stay.
Oh, Arfharim, where will I stay? All I know is you now. I have no family either. Only you, Grandpa.
Well, normally, that would get on my nerves. But perhaps it is a nice ruse we can use on the road. I can be your grandpa.
What is a ruse? A ruse? You mean a rouse?
No. Don't make me concerned. You should not.
I sort of glance towards Ulcoria and raise my eyebrows.
She just has the same stone expression on her face.
A ruse, Wilbur.
Ruse, Wilbur.
Forget it, a make-believe story.
Oh.
You will be my grandson,
Oh.
Egbert.
And you see a tear form in his eye.
I always wanted a grandpa.
Well, as far as you're concerned, for now I am your grandpa.
Wilbert.
No, Egbert.
Egbert. Even better. What shall I call you, Grumpy?
Not Grumpy.
Grandpapa.
Grandpapa is fine. If anyone asks my name, I shall say my name is Yenros.
Yenros. Half yen, half Ross. Yenros. Okay.
Don't worry about the story beyond then. I'll just say that you were hit in the head by a mule and you don't remember much of your childhood.
That would explain much more than his forgetfulness.
Well, Ulcoria,
Yes,
this is farewell for now.
stay safe, and I hope you get to Baldur's Gate in time, if your premonition was true.
Would I know roughly, all things going smoothly and all these things that surely aren't going to happen on the way? It's not going to be a walk in the park, I guess. But how long would it take, roughly? Would Arfharim know, having made the trip probably many, many years ago now to Baldur's Gate, how long he could expect a trip to take on foot?
Yeah, you would know roughly the distance is 750 miles,
Wow.
both on and off road. So a couple of you on horseback, you could perhaps do 24 miles per day at a casual pace. And perhaps you would take 2 days off for rest per 10-day of travel. So all in all, the journey could take around 45 days to complete.
Oh, wow. Baldur's Gate may be in ruins by the time I get there.
The warning was very vague. It seemed like Tammy, or what appeared to be Tammy's voice, didn't have a lot of time to really go into detail. It was a rushed message. So she didn't really tell you what was really happening or when it was going to happen, but that something, an evil was brewing. But you wouldn't know exactly how long you would have. You do remember that you have received a scroll from Ulcoria that she said can help you contact her some way or somehow. So perhaps you can try that and speak to her if that gives you peace of mind. But yeah, you would know it takes around 45 days. It would be much quicker in boat. But there are, as I said, blockades and lots of searches, and no one is really allowed in unless they're in official business. And it's going to be hard to find someone to take you down, because normally the trade is up. They have their trade route and they're going up past Waterdeep. To get a trader to turn around and start going down, especially now since there's a lot of restrictions, might be hard, if not impossible. And if you do find one, it will cost you a lot of money. But you can try. Also, you have certain magical items that perhaps you could barter with, even if you don't have. How much money do you have? How much gold did you start with?
I have a grand total of 10 gold pieces.
All right, not too bad.
That's not even a quarter of a potion, I think, at Adabra's prices.
No.
For those who didn't listen to Season 1 of Into the Dungeon, what are you doing? Go listen to it. Adabra is the sole potion seller of Phandalin, the monopoly owner of all magical brews. Go and listen to the adventures of True Shrubberies. Having bid farewell to Ulcoria, I now step through the door, beckoning Egbert to follow me.
You keep calling him Wilbur and Arfharim between us.
Yeah.
So not confuse the listeners. Right, so you exit on the other side, you look back and the door begins to disappear. And you see Ulcoria's stern face one last time through the translucent door before it finally dissipates and all you see is the stone wall separating you from Waterdeep and the last almost 100 years you've spent there. You don't know if you'll ever step foot inside again. You don't know what lies ahead, but you leave in hope that at least Obing somehow made it out alive. So you will be taking the tradeway, I imagine, and follow that road, the famous tradeway down towards Baldur's Gate.
Yes, I mean, assuming that Ulcoria gave me that map I asked for?
Yes, she did. Before you left, she gave you all you asked for. The tents, sleeping bags, a map.
Okay, so I'm going to head down that route that you've mentioned, knowing that the first major settlement along the way would be Daggerford, probably having spent the odd night there in my travels back and forth from Baldur's Gate many, many years ago.
Right, so you've been travelling down the tradeway for a while now. You both kept mostly quiet along the way, kept to your thoughts. When off in the distance, you see a small cottage on the side of the road. It seems old and unattended. As you draw a bit closer, you can also see a barricade stretching across the entire 50-foot width of the road you're on, and two broad-shouldered people stand in front of the barricade. What do you want to do?
Are they just stood there? Do I get a sense that they're keeping guard? Well, I imagine they're keeping guard given it's a barricade, but do they look armed from where I am, or are they just, chilling there?
You're perhaps 100 feet away right now, and from the details you can see, they look dressed like guards. You can see they're just standing there, pacing a bit up and down. You can see that beside the cottage they have two horses, and as I said, there's a barricade behind them. But you can't make fine details out from this distance. You might need to get a bit closer.
So these guards are outside of the barricade?
They're on your side of the barricade. The barricade is behind them.
Do I recognize any uniforms they're wearing, or, are they... I guess what I'm trying to ascertain here is, are they soldiers of Waterdeep, or are they wearing any sort of mercenary uniforms that perhaps I would have recognized from, seeing merchants accompanied in the city? Or do I get the sense that these are just vagabonds on the road?
From where you are, you can see that they do appear to be wearing uniforms, and perhaps you could get more detail if you get closer, but they seem to be Waterdeep City Watch uniform. Now, you're from Waterdeep, and so is Wilbur. They would know very well that the City Watch do not normally patrol the outside of the city. That's more a job for the City Guard, which patrol the walls and maybe some of the tradeway outside of Waterdeep. But the City Watch is more confined to within Waterdeep itself, and it serves more like the police force from within Waterdeep.
So this would strike me as odd if I think that these are City Watch guards.
Correct.
Wilbur,
Yes, Arfharim.
something seems amiss here.
I may not be the brightest, but I know a thing or two about City Watch. And these people on City Watch.
We must be very careful.
Is there any sort of forests or foliage or overgrowth on either side of the road that we can use to try and bypass this barricade?
There is, the road is wide, and yes, there is wilds beyond you. There's not a thick forest or anything like that, so you would probably have to go quite a bit of a distance before you get out of sight, and then go around the barricade itself. Also, the people standing there are looking in your direction. So you can imagine they've seen you. Not necessarily that they would follow you, but they, like you're seeing them, they have probably seen you as well.
Follow my lead, Wilbur.
Okay, I'm behind you.
Let's turn back. We must travel a little further, back the way we came, and look for a suitable place to go off-road.
Okay.
So we want to backtrack a little
All right.
until I get a sense, if the road bends and we're out of direct line of sight or sort of dips, kind of imagining if this isn't just a flat road all the way to Baldur's Gate, I imagine. So I just want to find a place where perhaps I can't see these individuals anymore so that I can veer off the trade route and start making my way off course a little.
Yeah, I mean, a few minutes backtracking, and you can feel that you have enough distance between you and the barricade to avoid it, and perhaps begin making your way into the wilds a bit. It's not an overgrown forest, more like some hills and some wooded areas, but it's not a massive overgrown forest, or woods, for miles at least. There's like sparse woods here and there.
Is it more protected on one side than the other? So, we're heading down towards Baldur's Gate, so the Sea of Swords would naturally be on my right-hand side as I walk towards Baldur's Gate, and then the wilds of Faerun to my left.
If you're not going to walk too far into the wilds anyway, it's going to be more or less the same kind of topography on each side. It's not going to vary too much.
Okay, so we veer off the path, trying to take cover in what little foliage there may be, the sparse woods, carefully, making sure we're not being seen or watched.
Alright, so roll me a survival check. Because are you trying to go into the wilds a bit, into the off-road, and then down towards the direction you were headed originally towards Baldur's Gate, let's say?
Yeah,
So south, and bypass the barricade completely?
that's correct.
Okay, so you're going to have to kind of navigate this in a way where you won't end up popping up next to the barricade, or that you won't get lost. It's not very hard to get lost right now, because as I say, it's not totally overgrown woods. But roll me a survival check.
Is that just for Arfharim, or one for Arfharim and one for Wilbur?
I'd say you're taking the lead right now, so Wilbur's just following you. So roll for Arfharim only.
It's a total of 11.
Alright. So yeah, you start making your way into the wilds, into the overgrowth. And after a while, you're in far enough that you feel that if you start making your way south, you won't be spotted by the people at the barricade. But you have entered a bit of a wooded area. You can see past it. You can see that there's more clearings ahead. But as you're walking down, you reach one of the clearings.
And at the point we get to a clearing, before moving into it and searching for the next cover, we'd want to do that stealthily.
Okay, so you want to stealth into the clearing. Okay, roll for stealth for you and for Wilbur. So as you quietly make your way, or try to at least, into the clearing, and suddenly you hear a crack of wood and a tumble behind you.
Arfharim! I've fallen down.
Keep quiet, Wilbur. What on earth are you doing? Get up. It'll be the death of us.
From a distance, you start hearing voices or mumblings. You can't quite tell what they're saying or what they are.
Are we close enough to the sparse wood that we were in a second ago?
Yeah, you were just about to exit it when Wilbur tumbled.
Wilbur. All right, so on that note, then hearing those mumblings.
Change of plans, Wilbur. Best we take cover.
Yes, Arfharim.
So you're hiding.
Yeah, we'd like to try and hide amongst the foliage. Find somewhere that looks safe and keep an eye out. So kind of two things we want to do. I want to hide, and then from our hiding spot, see if I can see anybody approaching.
So you and Wilbur make it back into the overgrowth, into the little wooded area, hide behind the trees. After a while, you start hearing footsteps coming towards you. You're laying low.
Yes.
The footsteps stop for a while. You suddenly hear a whoosh pass by you, and you're backed up into a tree, facing away from the clearing, and you see this spear impale itself in a tree in front of you. And that's where we're going to leave it.
I said it in episode 1, and I'm going to say it again. This fool is going to be the death of me. Wow.
That was a natural 1 on Wilbur's stealth roll, yet again.
Oh my god. Deja vu.
It's kind of poetic in a sense. It makes sense that Wilbur wouldn't be very good at stealthing.
Yeah. I'm going to have to sort of change approach, I think, and use him as a decoy more than anything.
Maybe that would serve you well. But anyway, that's the end of episode 4 of the Road to Baldur's Gate. Hope you've enjoyed it. If you want to find out what's going on and who that spear belongs to, best tuning next week.
If you can't wait a whole week, you know what to do by now. I say it every week. Visit our website www.i2td.com. Follow the links there to all our stuff. Pop by on Discord, say howdy do. And whilst you're there, make sure to click that coffee cup. It takes you to our Buy Me a Coffee page, where more than ever now, I think, having a spear thrown at me, we'll probably need all the assistance we can get from you. And you can sign up to donate a potion regularly or make a one-off donation that not only helps the podcast, it's also a fun way for you to help shape the adventures we play and be a part of the stories we tell, because your potion will appear in-game.
That's correct. But if you cannot donate or wish not to, don't worry, you can still help us out by following us on all our links. And maybe leave a review here or there. Why not leave one on your podcast player of choice? That helps tremendously. Also, spread the word of I2TD with your friends and family.
That brings us on to the end of the episode club.
The last one standing.
We give you a password and we find out which one of you has the highest constitution by proving to us that you've stayed onto the very end of the episode.
That's correct.
Do you have a password for us today?
Yes. This week's password is hardwood.
That's what she said.
The hardwood of the tree that caught that spear that was headed for you. Anyway, that's a password, hardwood. Make sure to use it in a sentence of your choosing. We look forward to reading them. And with all that said, it's time to leave and say bye-bye. And we'll catch you next time as we delve into the dungeon.